everybody, and welcome to this special episode of the Sean Lowery Show. This is episode 15, and I'm excited about this one. I've committed to myself. I'm going to do a podcast every week for 100 weeks before I even allow myself to reevaluate anything. But I'm still figuring my voice out and trying different things. And this episode, I'm going a different route. I have a special guest, and we're both cracking a beer and going Joe Rogan style, and we're just going to kind of talk about some things. We both are business podcasters, but I'm going to give him a little introduction, and then we'll get right into it. But I was the second guest ever on his podcast, and lately on social media, he's been talking about how taking action is a better strategy than over-planning, and that's what we're doing on this podcast. And from Kansas City, the owner of Braddog Media and the Braddog Media Show podcast, I would like to welcome Brady Hester.
Doing great. Glad to be here finally.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've actually talked on, over a recording or with voice. We interact all the time on social media, but
that's why I like. Yeah, but I feel like I've just been in touch with you because of social media, and that's really cool. So, and actually, one of the things we were talking about, which I want to kind of get right into, is about today. Kanye released his album, and you said you were entertained by the whole thing. True. Well, I was listening to it. I like it. But of course, my prediction was wrong again. I said it wouldn't be out today. I was trying to kind of make a prediction, and he got me again. And you caught me on social media when I was mad at it last time. But what are your thoughts on it?
No, so I was wrong too. I mean, we were on the same page. I thought, Shirley was going to pull another poop to scoop today.
I mean, I guess he already did it, but he already said he was coming out. And I don't know, what are your thoughts on him? Are you a Kanye fan?
Oh man, yeah. So, the more I see him mess with people and as time goes on, the more I love it. I don't know if it's messed up part of me that loves seeing people get all riled up and off about him. But I mean, it's the ultimate play.
Have you always been a fan? About the music?
Not.
Okay.
No, I think he's grown on me. I think where other people have gotten more angry with him over the years, I've become more of a fan. I mean, I think.
Dude, yeah. So I have for some reason always been my favorite. I mean, his music is awesome. His style. I like it. It's got a special style. He has all the beats and they're long at the end. He's definitely special when it comes to music. I've always personally been a fan, and then I liked even more when he started doing. He started liking Trump, which people didn't expect, and I like people who think differently and free thinkers, and I love that whole stage right there. Is that what you're kind of talking about when you're saying he started kind of rattling everyone?
Oh, exactly. It's so funny. Yeah, his music's always been good, but I don't know. When I was younger, I guess I was like, man, he's probably kind of a douche. And then the more I've heard him as time's gone on, he's so unpredictable and makes people so mad. It's hilarious.
And for me, I was a fan, and then he did this stuff, and just like you, I liked it, so it amplified it. And I know it's funny because there's the music element, and then there's he is a marketer too. All this thing kind of relates to advertising, how he pushes his album back, getting attention about it. And I think that's interesting too, building hype for your album. And then there's his message and stuff like that, which I was listening to him today, and because he put out an hour thing about, I don't know, God knows what, just this whole new vibe he has with the album. And I mean, he's very into religion right now. I'm not very religious, and I don't know, but he's making me kind of think about it. So it's just interesting that it's just, no one, as religion's getting less popular, I feel like he's bringing it back up, and it's kind of him flipping it. Now he's flipping it on me a little bit with that.
Yep.
It's interesting.
Dude, I mean, he has to go against the grain, so he's always standing out in one way or another.
But do you think he's going against the grain just for the sake of it? Or do you think he is just really like that? Or do you think he's being planning these things out? Or do you think he's being just going on his instincts and just going on his ego?
So I've been thinking about this actually. So I think at first his crazy personality and things like that was like kind of unintentional. But some of the wild things got so much publicity and stuff.
Like
And I
what? Like
think,
the Taylor Swift when he went on
oh yeah,
stage?
yeah. I think he's such a smart guy that he's like, okay,
Do you
he
think
can
that
do all the
Do you
fun
think
with
that
it.
Taylor Swift thing was planned out, or do you think it was on instinct?
Well, I think that one was probably planned out.
You think?
I don't know. That was
I
like
mean, that's a weird plan. Like that's a weird plan. He didn't know who's going to win. His plan's just to disrupt the show. Like, you think?
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either way. It's so tough, but I definitely think the more recent things are planned because he's figured it out and he's like the king of promotion. It's so funny.
So yeah, I mean, so you think it's all about the promotion? I mean, he's getting everyone to talk about him. We're talking about him right now.
Oh yeah.
So dang. So yeah, and that's interesting when it comes to like marketing and like viral marketing. I was looking through some of your Instagram or Twitter or Instagram,
Yeah.
and I saw you did this one tweet about this bus you saw, and I think it was for a zoo or something, and it had this snake all
Oh yeah,
around.
yeah.
You know
I
what I'm
saw
talking
somebody
about?
else post it. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So I just was looking at like the Discover tab or what was trending or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, that was wild. Somebody had like this bus for a zoo, and it was being suffocated by a snake like wrapped around this whole
Yeah.
bus. That was nuts.
So it was like really made the art on the bus made it look really cool. And that was like, and it makes me think about like advertising and stuff, right? Like, I just did a podcast about how I'm like hate commercials. That's more of like a time thing. Like I like the art of them. I might go on YouTube and search favorite commercials for entertainment. But if they're showing up on a show because I'm spoiled, I get like annoyed by them. But and it just made me think about other cool advertisements and like product placement or things like that. And it's just a funny like way to think about advertising. And one of the ways is to be talked about in the news. And I guess to do that, you have to do things like the type of things that he's doing that are polarizing. And that's just such a like strategic way to look at it. If you look at it like that, it makes perfect sense. It's the lowest amount of ad spend you have to spend to get a return on investment. You just have to do something crazy, right?
Oh, exactly.
So like why don't you do that? Like why don't you put on a Braddog media shirt and run around Times Square? You know, why don't I for United Monogram? Like do we just not have the balls or like
No, so I actually listened to a few of your most recent podcasts to catch up today, so
yeah.
I could hear your recent thoughts, and I heard that one. And so, yeah, today I was actually thinking about that. It's like, why am I doing this traditional, advertising and marketing route when, I'm trying to get some steam here early? Why don't we do something just off the wall like that?
Yeah. It's like an industry thing. And you think about advertising and you think about it from your perspective is that you do the service of creating ads for other businesses, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm a business. So I look at advertising too. So basically I spend all my money on Facebook and Instagram and that like interrupts people on their timeline.
Yeah,
And that's what's working right now. And and then and I've been thinking about this a lot. So then we do influencer marketing, which is popular right now. And then that's what made me think about like what can you do that's just like viral and different. And one thing that me and Shelby thought about is we might do like a live show once a week where we like, kind of talk to the customers and like answer some questions and show some products. Uh, but as an advertiser, like your videos, you just run them on
yeah.
YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, those are definitely the big three. Um, no, it's funny. Just off the top of my head, I mean, something that would be hilarious. Like, I know we joked about it, I think, on my podcast,
yeah,
actually. What about United Monograms actually does come out with that guys line that's super off the wall, like me and you model for it?
dude, that
Classic.
idea has been brewing in my head. Like a few of my employees asked about it. It's could open up 50% of the market. It's just like the reason we've had success is we didn't create the industry. Like monograms are already a thing, and then we have came in and been a like master of the industry. But it would have to be like a whole new thing to start, and
Well, I
it
mean,
could
I
be
don't even
viral. Is that what you're saying? It could be like a
exactly
viral.
like forget having I don't know that you would want to make sales off of it, but it would be eye catching, just
Okay.
some off the wall ideas.
Maybe if it
Just
like maybe if we do that on like April Fools, and
yeah, there you go.
and then it's like April Fools, but then we actually see if it got traction. But dude, that's a great idea, and that is an example of of trying to do something viral marketing. You have no guarantee that what's going to happen, but God, Kanye like spent $0 on ad spend. I mean, to get everyone to talk about him. It's like, and as an advertiser, it's like that'd be cool if you could have like a service that's like get talked about in the news, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's so unpredictable. I mean,
Yeah, you have to be like on top. Like I don't know. Maybe he is the smartest guy to be able to pinpoint the things and exploit them. But like, yeah, I don't know. But it's interesting when thinking about advertising. Like, why don't I just go to Times Square and run a? I don't, because what might happen is no one will film it and no one will see it and they'll be like, who's this guy? Like,
that's the thing. I mean, Kanye has the name and he's taking the crazy action. And, for somebody that's pretty unknown, it's like, oh, who's that random guy?
Right.
But,
So,
but I don't know if you remember, I mean, it was all over like ESPN and stuff. That one lady ran out and streaked over a soccer field with only like a shirt that was advertising some like porn site that her husband. And I think
I wonder how it did. I wonder if like the traffic went up or the site exploded. Like, do you know about that? Did it say?
I don't know. I mean, it was, oh my gosh, like millions.
Dude, I love the idea. It's like, what's the fine? Maybe the fine's like $2,200, right? And you spend a night in jail. And that is the law. And your return on investment is like, I don't know, 10 times if you would have spent those $2,200 on ads. It's like, it's just funny to think about. And he's the master of that. And I don't know. I want to do, like, I talk about this and I think about this, but really what I do is just run Facebook ads with pretty pictures. And it just, I guess it just takes something special and bold to advertise on that level of like, what I think it's called like guerrilla marketing or something like that.
Yeah.
I think like it's like, go ahead.
It has to be on brand too, I mean, it makes sense for somebody streaking for a porn site,
True. Good point.
If one of us were to do that, I mean,
yeah,
especially me, like with my name on everything,
very good point. Very good point. The streaking and the porn are like connected. So yeah, if you're just streaking in Times Square, they'd be like, "Why is that podcaster streaking?" Like, we mostly listen to him through audio. But oh man, I don't know. But all right, here's some other things I was reading through that I wanted to run over you. So this over planning thing you've been on lately. I've seen you tweeting about it and talking about it. And yeah, what's your current thoughts on that? Give it a little explanation.
Well, it's funny. So, I often tweet and post about things that I'm thinking about to like improve myself, and this is something that I've faced lately. And, surely other people go through this too. So why not just share my thoughts about it? So, man, I've, been a notorious over planner and overthinker like throughout life, and, that can be such a time waster when I could have taken all these actions during that time instead of over planning. And I could have learned so much more like through the process and testing things out and gotten closer to my overall goals than, I have through just planning ahead of time, which is kind of silly. You don't really know. You can't predict everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Start, most ideas will suck. So you need to start giving them a shot.
Right.
What's going to work.
And do you mean like on a smaller specific level as far as like, because your podcast and your business is your side hustle, right?
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
So, but I think I read this somewhere from you recently. You said your goal was to eventually quit that and do your Braddog Media full time, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's and that makes it even crazier that, up until a couple months ago, I think I've really been in the planning phase for so long. It's like, well, geez, I only have so much time in the day as is. I need to really start taking some action so I can move on and actually.
Dude, why don't you quit? I'm the guy. I'm the guy that can say this.
I know.
I'm the guy that can say this. Why? I'll put a little pressure on you. Like, why not? Why don't you quit?
So I mean, it's one of those things. Like, we have some savings, but it would be like.
Are you over planning right now?
I don't.
You kind of. I mean, kind of. You're thinking about savings and like.
But so thing is, like, I think we would need to just like simply save more and plan for that, though. And I know that sounds like over planning,
yeah,
but
it does.
This thing is, like, it's tough. There's two ways to go about it. I could either, save up a bunch of money and quit, and then be all in on that, which would be great.
But what's a bunch of money? Do you have a number?
Enough to live on. Yeah, probably. I mean, I haven't really gotten down and thought about it, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. I hear you, but yeah. I mean, I respect your own decision. You're a smart guy. But it sounds like over planning, and it's funny. Like you are like hustling on your podcast. Like you have always are putting out content, and I see that. So like, do you suck at your job because you're always? I was thinking that the other day. Like,
it's funny, they're both growing simultaneously, which is funny. Like,
what is your job?
So I'm in my full-time job is in email marketing, which
for who? For a big company, like a big company.
It's a local agency. We're an affiliate marketing.
Oh, you work for another? Really?
Yeah. So it's funny.
So you're trying to break off and kind of do the same thing.
So there's.
You steal all your clients,
dude. I wish. So in that space, in affiliate marketing, we're the middleman. Like, I really don't even interact with clients. It's a pretty interesting thing. Like, so, we have payday and personal loan offers and data providers. We, take an offer here, the data here, and we serve as the middleman to email market to all of these.
Okay, that's way different.
Exactly. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's way different.
And that's the thing, like, to be honest, I think I've made a couple mistakes, if we're being real. So,
yeah.
One, I think I should have stayed living at my dad's house and just gone all in on my business.
Did you buy a home?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. And like, how old are you? Like, if you mind me asking?
No, 26.
Okay. So, all right, you're younger than me. I'm 30. And yeah. So, okay. I was 22 when I did it, and I lived at my mom's, and that was great. But, okay. So, you're thinking back, and.
So, there's that. Or, man, get into a business where I'm really in the space that I ultimately wanted to work in and maybe make some connections and things like that. Because where I'm at now, I mean, I'm not meeting anybody that's helping me get to that business.
Is there growth potential at that job? I feel like based upon how much you are doing your content throughout the day and everything, it seems like you're probably not.
Really.
Is there a lot of great companies in Kansas City, or do you not even care? It's like your thing is Braddog Media, and that's like your next.
There are a lot of good companies, but no, ultimately, I mean, I've always wanted to work for myself. I've had this idea for a long time. And, I had ideas in college that we could get into if you want that didn't really work out. And then when it got time, like, to graduate and whatnot, I had kind of run out of ideas at the time. So I just went ahead and got the full-time job. But, I really wish I had.
Have you ever, made some money?
Do what?
Have you ever, had a little success with any of the business things or, made some money?
Yeah, so I mean, I've had clients for marketing off and on for 5 years,
on the
side. So there's always been some of that there, and it's just been, in recent months, it's like, okay, I don't want to balance all these things forever, so I need to make the push. And
dude, I mean,
really go.
What do you like? I don't, what are you aiming for? That's good. That's my push to you on my podcast on the Sean Lowery Show. What like, why don't you just quit and do it and go for it? But yeah, I mean, you kind of explained your thoughts, but I know that I would be so pumped to see that. But and yeah, and
Listen, I'll say it doesn't take much more. I'm trying to get, to a little bit of a balance. So, my wife works too, so it's not like I need to make a tremendous amount of money on the side to be able to take the leap. So
dude, even better. Like you obviously have you get the mindset stuff. Like you are smart.
yeah,
You understand entrepreneurship. You are into Gary Vee. You're in this niche of people who are starting businesses. You're interviewing them. You're learning from them. You got it. You have like I feel like you need to be pushed over the edge. Just go for it.
I know. We need to get my wife on here.
She what's her thoughts on it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, definitely more safe route. She understands what I want to do, and she's all for it. But I think she's more of the mindset that I need like a transition and not just complete jump.
that adds a layer. That adds a layer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm lucky. Like with my fiance Shelby, like we kind of started this thing from early on, and like we've been dating for like 7 years, and we're getting married in 6 months. But
Nice.
when I first started this stuff when I was 22 and I quit my job and stuff, I like actually broke up with her like that day, just like for like a couple days because I was making the sleep. I quit my job. That's the whole time. I think I told the story on your podcast. I left the coffee on the desk, and I never came back to work when I went to
I
that.
don't think I actually heard that part.
Yeah, I went up to go to the bathroom at 9:45 on a Monday. I'd been there for 45 minutes, and I went to the bathroom. And instead of going to the bathroom, when I was in the hallway, I just decided to turn and go out to my car, and left. And I had like a coffee on my desk. I had my stuff there. Yeah, and I never worked for anyone since then. And that's when I was like, I'm just doing this, like, because I only had my job for 3 months, but I was working, and then I was trying to think about doing it on the side and all those thoughts. Basically, kind of where you're at, and I took the leap. And my second podcast was about burning the boat, which is just like, I'm kind of crazy. Like, you're probably not as crazy as me. And I put it where I have no chance to retreat and go back to something. But I broke up with Shelby for a little bit then, and we got back together in like 5 days. But it wasn't like a breakup. The point was, are you going to be on board for me being in this entrepreneur life, like where it's going to be crazy, it's going to be ups and downs, there's no guarantees, like this is what I'm going to decide to do, and this makes me happy, and are you on board? And she was, and I couldn't have not be where I am without her, and we're very happy. So I guess like I'm lucky, I feel like, because I feel like your thing is very normal and reasonable, and I was like established early that we were like on this mission. And but oh man, I totally understand how that could be your thought process about, the transition and everything. But
No, I'm with you. I've actually kind of thought about this. So not that I want this to happen, but man, how many stories do you hear where
you
it's
get
like,
fired?
yeah, and that's the moment, and it's like, and I
Dude,
never look back.
You go punch your boss in the face and just call him a bitch and just be like, "So
Yeah.
if he doesn't fire you, then that's awesome. That's amazing."
And
But,
I mean, I don't know if it's like that per se, but something like drastic happens. There's one big move where it like completely pushes you and you have nothing else.
what's the name of the company you work for?
It's called The Lead Group.
Hey, the lead group. Fire Brady. We need to start the story. if the internet picks that up. But don't worry. I don't have too many listeners. But if someone from the lead group hears this, they'll get the hint. But also, I know they're not going to hear this because I feel like if they see, do they talk to you about your Braddog Media? Is that ever come up at the office?
Never. Nobody knows.
Dude, isn't that kind of rude that they don't know?
Yeah.
All they got to do is Google you. That's kind of rude. That's kind of rude that they don't know. They don't give a shit about you.
I don't hide it anywhere. Is what's funny.
That's
I mean,
what
I
I'm
have
saying.
over 1,000 Twitter followers.
That's what I'm saying. All you got to do is just search it into Twitter, your name, and all the stuff will come up. And not even one person. And it's not something that someone would do and then not bring up to you. They would bring it up to you. So basically, no one at your company's even thought to look you up at all. That's kind of rude.
That's a good point. That's it.
All right, man. Let's move on. But I want you to quit your job. I think that'd be badass. And I think you're smart enough to be successful.
I do too. I appreciate it. I'm with you.
Yeah,
No,
man.
I
Yeah,
know.
man. All right. Let it brew. But all right, here's another business like kind of thing that we were kind of talking about. So meeting people, right? All your podcast guests,
Yeah.
you've met all of them through social media.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome. I mean, we're literally two guys, never met, and now we're podcasting. You're in Kansas City, I'm in Charleston, and we just met through social media through I don't even know where. Just like we're both in the same like niche, and that's so cool. And who's your best podcast guest? Who's like the biggest one that you had? You can't
Like
say me.
as far as numbers go, I can
Yeah,
tell
as
you.
far as numbers.
It was this past Tuesdays.
Who was it?
Darcy McKenna.
Okay. I actually started following him and looking at his tweets, but I didn't listen to any of the episode yet. Isn't he from maybe another country?
Australia. I mean,
Yeah.
how crazy is that? You know, all these other podcasts had time to build up. This one, first 24 hours, got it.
Dude.
So,
And
you know,
how did you guys connect? Did you seek him out? Have you ever seeked any of your guests out from like a distance and be like, I want that person, and then followed them for weeks or something? Or is it more natural when you guys connect?
a little, so it's a mix. Like, I think like yours was more natural. Darcy actually followed me because he was following the $1.80 strategy that I don't know if you've heard Gary Vee
I know
talk
about that. I know about that. Yeah.
So, you know, he came across me and he turned out to be a good guest. So it's a mix, but yeah, so I know like I want to say, you know, the rapper Lex. I think you might have followed him.
Yes, I do. I look at all your guests because I mean we're in like kind of the same like range of like people who are starting like podcasting and business. And yes, I would probably recognize the names of all your guests, and I've listened to a good amount of them. But yes, Lex, a rapper, music,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, so especially with like different industries like that where it's like, okay, I'd really like to find a cool guy to talk to that's in the music industry. So I love rap,
Yeah, I love
rock.
rap.
I'm trying to get actually a band on. So some of those that are a little more like different industry, not traditional business, I've sought out actually because I want to get some variation and keep the
But you kind of
podcast.
always bring it back to businessy, like that's
Yeah.
that's like the baseline.
Yeah.
And that's good. I love that. That's like my baseline too, is business. But I love. Then you talked about going to events, right, and local events, and I think that's an interesting conversation about events, meeting people at events, and networking, and versus online. Uh, my current take is that offline never works, and that's for me. And Shelby, she has like 6,000 followers. She just kind of started blogging, taking pictures of outfits. Girls have an easy path if they want to kind of be influencers. They have to take cute pictures and wear good outfits and kind of advertise the outfits. And it's perfect for us because we have a clothing brand. So, but she goes to these local blogger events in Charleston, and Charleston is like the hub for this type of stuff. And every time she goes, I'm like, what? How was it? And she's like, it's good. Like, it's, what do you, if me and you and all the guys from your podcast got into a room, okay, what,
Yeah.
like it's almost better to do this, interact one-on-one and connect on Instagram comments or tweet back and forth about specific things. And I just think it's interesting that, and if you had it, and what's your take on that?
So, I mean, that was such a legitimate question because, going back to the action thing, I'm trying everything out right now when it comes to like building relationships with potential customers or people that could help me with referrals. So I'm trying it all. And man, I mean, I don't know. I haven't gotten a lot of results out of the events recently.
Dude, don't go to events.
God,
don't. It's waste. And it's so much time.
That's the thing.
A shower, an outfit change, a drive.
2 hours at the event.
And then a drive back. And then you could have followed 4 people on a Gary Vee comment and had a more productive time. Like,
it's funny, man. Like at these networking events, it's such I
It's
think
hard. I mean, it's hard, dude. I mean, people like I'm awkward as hell at them. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just like, I'm not gonna be like, I don't know I don't know who's who. Like, I don't know what to
yeah.
do. Like,
The thing is that would be a huge plus for me is that they're a bunch of business owners. They're basically all my potential audience. They're
that
all
is a huge
people I
difference
can
between
work
me and
with.
you. They could
You know,
be, you could
I'm
you
not
could sell
trying
to
to
them and get
sell
money.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that being said, like honestly, I feel like I worked the room really well. Like I went to
Okay.
last networking event. I mean, everybody I talk to seems to be interested. But it's one of those things.
Have you signed any?
One was in the group, but not at this event. So not anybody that I've met in an event. I know. So
Yeah.
it's like, you can kind of tell when some are playing the game, you know, and others you think are legitimately interested and you're, talking with and nothing comes of it. It's like
Yeah.
everybody's,
Dude, nothing ever comes there for me. Like, I hate them. I hate them.
yeah.
I hate them. I hate seeing people in person. I'm honestly not even friends with my neighbors. Like, we haven't talked in 2 years. Like, and I feel like we just like both appreciate that. Like, I'm
Oh,
a
yeah.
very social person and I love people and I love connecting. I just hate seeing people in person. I don't know if it's like a millennial thing. It's just I'm efficiency based. It's why I hate commercials. Like, it's efficiency based. I don't want to spend a bunch of time smoozing when it's going to turn to nothing. Like, I'd rather be able to scan some. It's like social media is like that room at the show or at the event, and you can just see everyone's comments and you can pick who you like and stuff, and it's way more efficient. Uh,
That's the thing. I mean, it's so much more time efficient on social media. I feel like you kind of can cut through the crap, and it's like people that are really interested, you can just cut to the chase so much quicker. You don't have
okay,
to have like a 20-minute conversation about, their new dog
right.
to talk
Yeah,
to
I hate
someone.
that. Oh my god, I hate that. I hate small talk, dude. That being said, I actually need to take 1 second here, and I'm going to do uh, my first ever advertisement. So, America's Pencils. These are some of the best pencils in the world, and they're tough and they're strong and they're very sharp. And you can get a batch today if you go to usagold.com/Sean Lowery. And I want everyone to go to that site and buy these pencils. And I really appreciate everyone listening. And these are the best pencils out there. So USA Gold, go and get them. All right, appreciate that.
Totally thought that was a joke. That's so on brand, though. Was that real?
Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Oh man, I was gonna
You thought it was
say
real?
with that a bit.
No, I always wanted to do a fake commercial on one of my podcasts. But no, that was fake. That was a transition. You thought it was real though?
Yeah, now at first I was like, it's fake. And then you dropped the last Sean Lowry.
Oh man, I was messing around. But yeah, man, over planning. I thought that was interesting because one of the things I've been talking about is like focusing on one thing. And then recently I started this podcast, and that's a second thing for me. And I struggle a little bit. And I talk about and I'm thinking about this because of over planning. Like with my own personal brand, like I don't put as much effort into it. And if it was all my time, if it was my number one focus, I can think of all these awesome things I would do. And one of the things would actually be seek out guests that are obtainable, but really famous. Because there's so many famous people out there that people know. And if you could I can't get Leonardo DiCaprio, but I might be able to get someone on this level that has a big following, and I would seek them out. That's what made me think about this. But it's like and I promise I'm doing this podcast, and I think ever since my business, we have 13 employees, we're doing better, and I'm able to put a little bit of time aside. But you, with your business, right? Tell me about the advertising and the podcasting. Is the personal brand related to, and I've seen your website, I know it kind of is, but aren't they kind of two different business models?
So I'd love to get your opinion on this for
Yeah.
one. So when I first started the podcast, the ultimate end goal, it's all about the business in the end.
Okay.
But being in, the advertising and marketing space, it's really valuable to have a good recognizable personal brand, especially locally. And so, the idea is that it's a great way to build up content, to network, to learn about, potential ideas that I can implement into the business, and at the same time build up my personal brand so that I'm more recognizable to actually do business with. And
I hear you. Here's my take, because this is interesting, but like, I don't think that who's your target client? Local Kansas City based businesses?
yeah, it's a mix.
I know you're locally based.
Yeah,
I know you want to
as
be
far
Kansas
as like
City based.
as far as video advertising goes, yes, for sure. You know, I've worked with
What's your
people,
business do?
but
Video
so
advertising, right?
video advertising, yeah,
And your video advertising, you said, is based in Kansas City,
yeah, that aspect of it,
and they're businesses, right? They're not individuals. They're not schools. They're businesses.
yeah,
So your audience is local Kansas City businesses. So I don't see how doing a podcast with the rapper Lex would have them buy from you, And it's basically, it's two different efforts, and that's kind of back to my point about focusing on one thing. And
yeah,
it's kind of complicated because there's different avenues of advertising, but I was always trying to have one goal. And I feel like having a podcast and having advertising business are two goals. Do you think they're two different goals?
kind of.
Well, you're thinking about it because
Yeah,
I know. And then when you have a limited time anyway, because you have your other job, it's almost like, yeah, you have a side thing for the podcast is to build up your name, which will, but like,
yeah,
you should be spending all your time trying to get leads and trying to get money and trying to sell video. And like, the podcast is a lot of effort, and that is on the side. So it's like,
yeah.
they're
No,
two different efforts, I think.
I've thought about this a lot. So taking it back even further, so here, and the other problem too is like I've changed my mind about a couple of things in recent months, and I am trying to find like the main focus. So, you know, like this summer, I'm trying to figure out long-term goals so I can quit my job and have my own thing. And at first, my thought, and at that point, I didn't even think I was really focused on being local. But as time goes on, I figured that would make more sense business-wise. So the idea was to spend time building up my name online and being more recognizable through the podcast. And I was just going to focus on that. But then as time goes on and, you know, I'm like talking with people and stuff, it's like, why am I sitting back trying to build a name? I could be actually going out and getting the business like rolling and putting more effort there.
Well,
So
it'd be different. It'd be different if all 14, how many guests have you had so far? 20, something like that?
22 episodes, but 14 guests.
If all 14 guests were local Kansas City businessmen, that would be different.
So the idea is more to, you know, when talking about marketing in these podcasts, to be seen more as an expert in the industry. So people would hear that could be a potential target audience.
Okay, yeah, right.
Audience.
Yeah.
It's not like my guests are my target, you know,
Right.
that's more of.
So yeah, if that were me, I would spend and I don't like this because I love you being a podcaster and we've connected and this is awesome. But if I were you, and you're not me and I'm not you, but I would spend all my extra time. Well, I'd probably quit my job like a crazy man, and I'd spend all my extra time trying to get money in the bank from selling my product or my service. No, my service. I would try to spend all my time making sales and service. And instead of trying to hopefully be up in that person's feed and they see you, I'd just call them and be like, yo, you got to work with me. Like, cause if cause you want to, that like, it's more of a long-term strategy as far as having the personal brand and the recognition. It's nice for them to be able to check on you and go to your website and see that. But it's interesting. It's something to think about. I say you quit your job, you spend all your time working on your business, and that will give you the extra time to keep doing the podcast where you'll become really recognizable, and we'll do more podcasts in 10 years when we're famous. But yeah, that's my take from you. All right, switch it up. What do you think about driverless cars? I did a podcast about that.
Yeah.
Did you listen to that one? You said you listened to the last couple.
So
here's a funny thing. Like for my podcast, like I'm trying to figure out my voice still, but the last two, the driverless cars and the commercials, and kind of this one are more like actually. And then I did one about repetition, and I did the two voices. because one of my voices is kind of casual and like thinking about it and having a conversation. My other voice is like kind of like I just was with quit your job, do this. It's kind of more like the
Right.
success bit. And like I'm balancing those two voices. With the driverless car one, it's not specific business advice or anything. I just think it's an interesting topic that I love getting people's opinions on.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get judged on this being a guy, but dude, I'm not that attached to driving.
I hate driving.
I'd so much rather mess on my phone and
Dude,
check on things.
I am looking at the road 60% of the time. Or no. I'm looking at my phone 60% of the time, road 40%.
Yeah.
I'm very dangerous to society. And it's a problem. And there's only one way to solve it, and it's get driverless cars. I can't fix it. No, driving sucks, dude. And one of the things I said in that podcast was people are going to look back on this time and they're going to say, people had to drive the vehicle themselves every day to and from work. And they had to sit there and stare at the road in full focus. And if they messed up, they could endanger their whole family. What if they were drinking? What if they were tired?
I know.
Like, it's like, I think it's crazy, but no, I think that you just said I'm going to be a minority with that opinion.
I think so.
You think so? You think it's a minority?
I think I'm the only person I know personally that I've talked to about, other than you, I guess, that doesn't enjoy driving for some reason.
Dude, I feel like they're just like, back in my day, we had vinyl.
Yeah. I
I mean, if you're a race car driver, if you do it for sport, like, okay, that is acceptable. But you can just go to a track or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
No one likes it.
It's one of those things. It's like, and I have a full-time job, and it's like between trips, it's like I'm spending an hour a day sitting in this car. I could be doing, other things in this hour.
It disgusts me, dude. And I mean, I have promised myself about 7 years ago when I started this mindset of business and being successful that I will never like waste my time in the car. I will always listen to something productive. And
yeah.
And I actually think ever since I started my podcast, that was right about the time where I was like, okay, I've listened to every single book about success. I know I felt armed to be more of a talker rather than a listener because I have heard all of these lessons so many times now. And I've implemented them. But yeah, now I'm sick of listening almost. So now I want to be in the car and be typing or texting. Or just imagine a car. Two rows of chairs facing each other and a little table in the middle. Wi-Fi, a little mini fridge. Oh my God, dude. It would be
perfect.
Would be the most amazing thing in the world. And if part of the problem of it, not part of it's technology, part of it's safety, it obviously needs to be tested out and all that. The first time I get it in, I wouldn't sleep, but part of the problem is society thinking that they like driving. That is what I'm angry about. Like you just, and I'm surprised that you said that you feel like you're in the minority of that.
Yeah. I mean, how many things are like that now that in, 50 years, people are going to look back? Like, I feel like the education system now.
What do you think about that?
I think it's crazy that you're forced to take so many classes that, you already took in high school and you're paying so much money for. Like, I don't need to take biology again.
Yeah.
That's the part that makes me mad.
Yeah. Actually, did you go to college? What was your college experience?
Yeah, I went to college. So I was a public relations major, 4-year.
Where'd you go?
University of Central Missouri. It's a
okay
school here. So,
but it was like a cool school, like lots of people, like a full college experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I think the college experience is one of the most healthy, amazing, transformational experiences in a person's life.
Really?
And I think the fact that our society has figured out that when a person is 18 years old, you need to send them off to a different place where they then are forced to take care of themselves. I think that is fucking brilliant and genius. I think college is an amazing thing that helps every person move on from their hometown, actually learn how to be a person, and then go out and be a person. So I'm a huge advocate for college, but the cost is crazy, and the cost needs to come down. But that can be figured out. Like, and and everyone's saying that college isn't worth it and college sucks and don't do it. It's a waste of money. But if it wasn't a waste of money, then I think it'd be awesome. And I don't want people to forget that, in my opinion. Like, let's just make the cost reasonable. And
Yeah.
I don't want people to think it's a bad thing, because a lot of those people might end up being just in their hometown with their parents, like, and they should be out on their own, doing their laundry, meeting new people, figuring out who they are, going through new experiences, getting drunk and leaving a pizza in the dorm oven or something. Like that's how you like grow, you know? And that's like
but yeah,
the money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in between on it. It's not like I regret going to college. I think it just depends. And it's like, I just think as is, it's crazy that, I don't know. I wish it was more of an a la carte experience. You can really like cater
That's fair.
to what you actually want to do. And I don't know.
The thing is, most people don't know what they want to do, and that's very okay.
So for them, then yeah, take random classes, but you don't have to.
That's kind of like most people, and that's like the structure. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, college, man. But is that where did you meet your wife in college?
Yeah, actually.
So did I. So like it gets you out. You know, I'm pro it. I'm for it, but it's a waste of money, and you can't be. It doesn't really allow you to think for yourself well. If you just keep loving like classes where teachers grade you and you get your worth from that.
Exactly. So that's the big thing. It's not as much that I'm against school. It's more the structure of it. Like, I think in 50 years, it's just going to look a lot different. I mean, there'll probably still be college or whatever, but it's just like, it's just so not real world for the most part. And, you know, a lot of my public relations program is actually, you know, a little more world experience. Like, I learned how to obtain clients and, you know, work hands-on with people and things.
That was like your major when you graduated, public relations?
Yeah. So,
and what was like your initial thought with that? Like, you were gonna like be public relations for like a major league baseball team or like a football team or something? Like, what's like the dream job in that field?
Yeah, it is in sports. And thing is, so, you know, I learned through the process at college that a lot of times people get into sports and end up hating it in PR. So, you know,
it's not really well paying. It's
terrible.
Like, it's not a glorious field, because I looked into sports journalism and some of this stuff too, and it's not glorious. It's not glorious.
So it's like two-part too. So another thing is I got into a bunch of marketing internships and got a lot more into that. Plus, you know, when I pondered over different business ideas, you know, PR, I mean, there's some people can do it, but
it's so vague. It's so vague.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm an analytical guy too. I love the numbers. So, you know, marketing and advertising is so much more of a
PR is so vague.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the objective of PR?
That's the thing. It's hard to prove.
What's their metric? What's their industry metric for success?
Surveys. You know, you have to get like opinions and things. It's so hard to get concrete numbers.
Do our PR businesses struggling? I would imagine. Because now everyone's their own PR person now, and everyone can break through to. They used to have hookups with local publications, where people got their opinions from, but that's like kind of vanished, like the newspaper and such. Like, so I would imagine PR companies are struggling.
I think what's happening is PR, advertising, and marketing are so meshed now, and there's so much overlap in the digital space that it's like you kind of have to know all three, you know, at the same time.
And it almost becomes like a social media influencer agency or like a marketing agency. I feel like
it's just like business communications. Like, you know how to do it all.
But it'd be cool if you could be PR for a big sports team, right? Like the Kansas City Chiefs. Or no, you like the Seahawks. You like the Seahawks, right? Why do you like the Seahawks? Are you born and raised in Kansas City?
Yeah, so I'm always defending myself out here, which is fun. You know, I'm rooting against the local sports team.
Yeah, they're like that guy.
Yeah, it's fun.
By the way, like, how's Kansas City?
You know, it's actually really popular. Like, entrepreneurial spot and really growing.
I mean, it's one of the hubs in the Midwest, right?
Yeah, so business-wise, it's pretty awesome. I
Yeah.
kind of hate the weather. We don't get a spring or a fall. It's like
Yeah.
summer to winter. It's crazy.
Summer to winter. Yeah, I've lived in upstate New York, Chicago area, which may be similar weather. Now South Carolina and Philly. Yeah, best weather's here because it's warm all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Midwest in Chicago there was not great weather, but you like it though. Like you have like a bunch of friends from like high school and stuff like that. Like,
to be honest, not a ton. I mean, I have a couple of close friends, but I keep a pretty tight circle.
Yeah.
I'm more family oriented, and
okay.
I'm so busy with all the things I'm trying to pull off. Like, I have some family time, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, cool, man. Cool.
I'll catch up with guys later.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so sports a little bit. Like, you're a Seahawks fan. Everyone there probably loves the Chiefs, right? Like, like billboards. I mean, they're good now, and like, it's a big deal to have an NFL team. Kansas City's no joke. Like, Kansas City's. I've seen some of your videos where you're like have like showing the skyline or something like that in Kansas City. It's just cool because I've never been there, and it's a city that you know about, everyone knows about. Good barbecue and stuff like that.
Oh, barbecue's the best. Yeah. Have you been to Kansas City?
No, never.
You gotta come in.
Yeah, dude, that'd be cool. Like, once we do, podcasts face to face. Like Joe Rogan does all his podcasts face to face. I always wonder, like, if he pays for the guests to come. I mean, I guess he has like more prominent people, so.
Yeah, most probably rich enough they don't care.
I mean, but some of them are like journalists who have been in the news in the past like 3 days. Like, he gets a lot of timely guests, like, and they're not necessarily like rich. Like, I wonder if he pays for people to come.
I bet he would for people like that.
Yeah,
he seems like a pretty generous guy. I mean,
it'd be worth it.
No way they could afford it.
Yeah, but all right. So NBA season started, right?
Yep.
And LeBron. Let's get into this Space Jam thing, right? So Space Jam was your favorite movie, you said, when you were growing up?
Yeah, I'm wearing the socks right now.
Yeah, let's see it. You got his Space Jam socks on right now.
I have to pull up my I guess. Can you see?
Yeah, the purple?
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Like, it is
stars on there.
Dude, it's an amazing movie. It is. And I'm assuming that you were a Michael Jordan fan?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty young for
True. Because I barely remember. I'm 4 years older than you. And I remember watching his last championship and then the Wizards thing. And I wasn't around. So you just love the movie, right? And like.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we don't have a basketball team in Kansas City. So I think like Chicago's actually at the time like the closest place. So
makes sense.
My dad, would always like kind of influence me, I guess. I think he was the closest, and honestly, so fun to watch. And Space Jam was the first movie I remember watching in theaters. I would have been like only a few years old.
Yeah.
So I'd have my parents rent it all the time, like
obsessed with it.
Yeah,
dude, it is like. And are you a LeBron fan?
No.
So this is interesting. One of my best friends, David Hecker, if he's listening, I've always been a huge LeBron fan, and he's always hated LeBron. And I'm kind of like, dude, why don't you love LeBron? And over the years, he's always hating on him to me, and he's kind of been persuading me. And I don't like LeBron as much as I used to. What's your why aren't you a LeBron fan? Any reason?
Yeah, it's not on the court at all. He's actually like the perfect specimen for basketball, and he's fun to watch. But dude, his attitude and he is such a cancer to a team. How many coaches has he gone through? Like 20? I mean, he's already gone through a director for Space Jam 2. Did you know that?
I heard about that.
They haven't even started production.
Dude,
one director.
My friend Hecker, who would probably agree with you on this. He said ever since The Decision, he knew LeBron. There was something weird about him. What did you think about The Decision? Like, did you know what I'm talking about? That was like when he was
yeah, for sure.
Like I loved him then. I fucking loved him, and and like now that I look back at it, like that was kind of weird, and like I feel like he's obviously amazing at basketball, and he has a very special IQ on the court and just playing basketball. But he is someone who's affected by like pressure, and
Oh
and
yeah, he doesn't
like,
stand for anything, man. I don't think.
and
I
he's
mean,
weird. He's weird about his image, and you know who Clay Henry is, or no? What's his name? Clay Travis. He's like
yeah,
a I listened to his audiobook, and dude, he said LeBron like faked a hate crime where he wrote like the N word on his like lock thing,
yeah.
and I remember hearing about that at the time, and I was like, damn, that's like it's messed up or something. And then kind of was out of the news, and I when that Jesse Smollett thing happened, then I was like, dude, that was like that like I was like, oh my god. And then I thought about the LeBron thing after that, and I wasn't sure what to think before, but now I kind of believe it because people do stuff like that, and LeBron's trying to get those like justice points or whatever. And dude,
I don't.
I feel like he dodged a bullet. He faked a hate crime. Like, did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I did, and it was like, yeah, of course. At the time, I'm like, geez, what a scumbag who
Right,
do this
right.
to him, and but nothing ever came out of it, and it was like, it was really weird.
The media
Bring
like
that up.
threw it away. There was never really discussed, and if like it just everyone moved on. But dude, what do you? I think there's. I'm I'm not biased. I'm a free thinker. I'm reasonable. Based upon the evidence of the situation, it seems very clear that when Clay Travis lays it out, that he did do it. Like I think there's like a 70% chance he did it. And whatever, man. I'll give him a pass. Like just at this point, like whatever. But he got so lucky. What if it came out that he faked it? It would have messed with him, man. Like could have gone the way of Jesse Smollett, like just being.
Oh man.
But he kind of got a little lucky there. But yeah, he's weird with like obviously he's always trying to be like a Muhammad Ali in a time where there's nothing to fight against, really. That's what it seems like to me.
It seems so fake to me. And like, I don't know if you heard about the China thing at all recently.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't have any problem with it, but he talks politics all the time. I
He
mean,
does.
and which is fine if people want to talk politics and sports, that's fine.
He doesn't know what he's
But
talking about.
now, this China thing, he like acts like he's on the side of the protesters. But then of course the NBA has deals with China and he has backlash and he's like, no, people shouldn't talk about politics,
Yeah,
you don't know
dude.
anything. But he's been talking politics this whole time.
Dude, it's become clear, I think, to a lot of people. Someone like me who loves him, I'm fair-minded. Uh, it's very clear to me that he's just a standard American person like everyone else, and he has put on a facade to be this social justice guy.
Yeah,
Like, and I think everyone sees that. And he played that angle, and it was almost like we talked about earlier about Kanye and how much do you plan stuff. Like, if he could be Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, these guys are true American legends for being athletes and social like heroes and changers of the time, and they were
yeah,
they
they really
really
were.
were. And he almost like made a gamble. Like, I'm going to try to be one of these heroes. Michael Jordan didn't do that. Michael Jordan was non-political. He was just an American, like, and he was a gambler and a golfer, and he is who like LeBron probably really is. Like, because you're an athlete, you're a winner, you're a millionaire, you're a billionaire. Like, that's really who he is, a regular person. But he also cares about people. But damn, dude, he kind of gambled on that, and I feel like it has not played off well. Now he kind of has to stick with it. So, and I
And
feel like stuff like that affects him on the court.
yeah, and he's one of those guys, he's always looking for a scapegoat. It's always the coach or he doesn't have the players around him. Like
That's
every
such a cowardly thing. Yeah.
oh man. That's
Okay.
probably the worst thing.
Okay. So we set this up, right? So that being said, Space Jam 2. Space Jam 2. All right. So Michael Jordan, we know the movie. This movie was obviously an amazingly written and amazingly filmed, entertaining, Looney Tunes Michael Jordan. But the most amazing thing I think about the movie is it shaped his legacy. He was playing baseball and the Looney Tunes brought him underground to have an epic win over this enemy, and then he came back and he played basketball because of that experience. And then the end of Space Jam is him wearing number 45 as the credits roll, him playing, and he's back on the team. And I looked it up today. That movie was released into theaters November 15th, 1994. 4 or 6, I forget. But point is, it was 1 month into
because I think I was 3 years old.
Okay, 1 month into the season. So basically, like, if he would have went on and lost and sucked after the rest of that, that movie would not have been so good. The movie would not have been so special because it was halfway. He won 3 championships. He went to play baseball, and then he came back. And the movie was released then. Then he won 3 more, and it's so perfect. Literally, if you're writing a story, a script, you're so perfect. So I assume that Space Jam is going to try to take that same tactic with LeBron's career.
Oh man,
right? Like I think that
he just tanks after they get it
like so. All right, yeah, Space Jam 2. I think that's why it's so interesting because the first one was about a career, and now it's going to factor into his career. So, like, what are your thoughts on Space Jam 2? I heard he dropped a director, but as far as I know, by the way, there's nothing out about the plot. There's no preview. Like, this is a good time to talk about it because we have no idea what it's going to be about.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I haven't thought about the plot too much.
So I thought about it, and the second I thought about it, I couldn't think of anything. So I spent a lot of time thinking about it today, actually, and I have a prediction. But off the top of your head, say like where does it start? What point in his career does the movie begin?
I mean, he has to be on the Lakers. There's no way they'd get him back in a Cavs uniform.
Okay, that's against my plot, but I hear
really
you.
okay.
Yeah.
I think Cavs fans would lose it if they saw him back in a uniform again.
Okay. I'm not saying it's been the uniform, but okay. Lakers. Okay, yeah. So he's in LA.
Yeah, he's in LA.
Like Michael Jordan, the Looney Tunes brought him back from baseball. That's the movie.
Yeah.
So in this movie, the Looney Tunes, they play with LeBron, they have a great time. And that does what? That's where I'm flustered a little.
I know. It's like he's not at a crossroads like that like MJ was. So, I mean, he is down a little bit now, but it's like, I don't know, the timing of it is it's kind of weird. There's no way it can live up to the first one.
Isn't this such an interesting conversation?
Yeah.
What is the plot? It's such a big deal. Like, I'm surprised they haven't talked about it on like First Take or like a sports show because it's supposed to relate to his career, and they always talk about LeBron's legacy and who's the greatest and stuff like that. But
it's just like such a mess. Like he can't get any like or like.
So he's always bad with the optics, and he's an amazing player, but he's not good in crunch time because he has other people's. He has the vision of himself like in his head, like, and he's always been so talented. Like he couldn't like. Right now, like my videos don't get a lot of views, and I don't give a shit. Like I'm gonna fight through that, and I think one day it'll be cool to look back on, and that gives you grit and all that. He never had to like be that gritty, so when he gets some criticism, I don't think he's that good at like handling it well. Like Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team or whatever. Like,
yeah.
So my friend David Hecker, he thinks he has a bunch of yes men surrounding him, which which plays into like his had being messed up, but he's also won 3 championships and he's a very successful guy. And but now he's making a movie, a Hollywood movie, and he's putting himself out there. So like how this affects his psyche, I think is so interesting, man. And it could fuck him up. He could just lose, like break his leg this year. And like, can't you see that happening to him? Like doing a big gesture and then it like not going well.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, it wouldn't bug me, and I'd probably honestly be rooting for him if he came up with his own thing. But it's Space Jam 2. He should have came up with his own movie.
I mean, dude, I love the idea of doing Space Jam 2 for him because he can shape his legacy of his career through a storyline movie. Dude, the Michael Jordan thing is magic. It's magic. And the fact that he had the 3 championships, the North Carolina, he branded himself in the movie with the short shorts and then the long shorts and everything that's Michael Jordan, his shoes being stuck to the cartoon floor and he had to go get his shoes. Like 3 championships before, baseball, and then sucking at baseball and going back, it shaped his legacy. And now he is a billionaire by selling shoes based upon that legacy. So LeBron is the only other person ever since Jordan that probably has the opportunity to pull something off like that. He has the opportunity here to change his career. Jordan had 3 before Space Jam. LeBron has 3 before Space Jam. He has the opportunity here to shape this into an amazing Michael Jordan career story. So that's why I support it. And it's just an opportunity, but that's why it's so interesting to me, man. Like, it's so interesting to me.
That is interesting. I mean, time will tell if it plays out in his favor.
All right, you want to hear my plot?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I thought about this, and I'm trying to be specific. All right, so the movie opens up, and there's not going to be any R. Kelly songs. That's my first prediction. Because I Believe I Can Fly, amazing song, opens the movie. But, all right, so here's what I'm thinking. He opens up the movie right after they lose the championship in Cleveland. And he's sitting there with his family. And I'm not going scene for scene here. Like, I'm going, but loose plot. But he starts the movie after he lost the championship in Cleveland. And he's with his kids a lot. Remember Michael Jordan has his kids in the movie a lot? Yeah. Like, it's going to be a very family thing. LeBron's family is going to be part of the movie. They're going to probably have a dog. And they're going to – all right, here's where prediction starts. They're going to be having a family Taco Tuesday.
Oh,
because you know how he's been doing that Taco Tuesday thing? I think he's doing that to brand it to be part of the movie. So, all right, this is hard. I had to predict, but he's going to be having Taco Tuesday with his family. And then during the Taco Tuesday, he's going to get sucked down a straw into Looney Tune land. And that's how he's going to get there. Because he doesn't golf. Like Michael Jordan had a golf kind of brand. He liked to do it on the side. He's not going to get sucked down a golf call. He's going to get sucked down a straw during Taco Tuesday. All right. And then he's going to go down to the Looney Tunes world. And the big bad, it's going to be similar. The big bad boss is going to want to, here's my next prediction. The big bad boss is going to want to take Looney Tune land and take over LA. And he's going to want to take over LA in Looney Tune land and make LeBron his slave, just like they wanted to make Michael Jordan their slave. And then they're going to play the game, make the bet. All those players are going to go become big. And I think the players have been announced. I think it's Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, something like that.
He paid up enough, a couple people.
He got a couple people. And then I think that they're going to suck the talent. They're going to play. They're going to do the game. They're going to win. And because he saved LA from the Looney Tunes, he is going to inspire to go play for the Lakers. And then and the ending credits are him in a Lakers jersey with Anthony Davis as his teammate. And that's the base plot. And I have one other specific prediction. There's going to be Tweety Bird is going to make a tweet joke. Tweety Bird is going to make a joke somewhere throughout the movie about tweeting because it'll show like the time difference between the two movies. It took me a while to think of that. That's my plot.
I like the specifics.
Yeah, I was trying to be specific.
It's not bad.
But yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see.
I know. I'll watch it. We'll see. I'll be open-minded about it. If it's good,
so but based upon your negative attitude towards LeBron, you're probably not expecting it to be a hit or good.
Exactly. I have low expectations.
Okay. So. You got to be fair-minded, though. You got to be fair-minded because maybe we'll talk about this after. And I'm good at being fair-minded, and I love LeBron. I do. I have like a love for him, but I've been convinced over the past few years by my friend who has the same opinion as you that LeBron's kind of a piece of shit a little bit, and he's kind of dumb and so I kind of agree based upon recent circumstances, but I could go either way with the Space Jam movie.
Yeah. So I love him on the court though. So it's like half the time I like him, but then I hear him outside of the court.
He's Kanye-ish in a way that he is the story. Whether he's sucking or whether he's doing great or whether he's there or not there or hurt.
He's always the story. So
you got to give him that.
Yeah, whether he's meaning to or not, he's in the news. So
damn, dude. Well, anything else on your mind?
Not too much, man. I'll be giving your suggestions some thought here. I definitely
dude, quit your job.
What to do?
Quit your job. Go all in, man. It'll be epic. I'll support you. I need video ads for my company. Like, I'm trying to build kind of like an internal content company. Like, but you're local though, so I can't use it.
I mean, if you got a video guy, I can handle the advertising stuff. You know, that's the thing.
But I know how to handle advertising stuff.
Well then,
yeah.
I mean, he might have it handled then, but
yeah.
But
so that's okay, cool, man. But all right, dude. This has been fun. This has been different for you, right? You usually are asking questions about business, right? Now we just got to come on, shoot the shit, talk about some different stuff. 2 business podcasters opening up on a Friday, letting loose, going Joe Rogan style. And dude, this has been awesome. It's been fun.
That's right. Yep.
Been really all right, Brady Hester, give a little plug to yourself.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have a ton to plug. If you just go out to any social media platform, search for Braddog Media, BRADDOG MEDIA, on every social media platform. So come follow.
Did you spell that right, or did you have too many beers?
I think I got it right.
All right, awesome. Braddog Media has been great. I appreciate it, and it'll be fun to see how our journeys cross in the future, and we'll keep being in touch. Thanks for coming on.